Hey kids and parents, what's going on? And welcome back to FX Family Experience. Now, you're saying, like, where is Kayla and Janae? Well, I don't know where they're at either. No, that's not true. They're my kids. I better know where they're at, right? Kayla's actually visiting some family, and Janae is actually hanging out with friends. So I thought, what a perfect time and a place where I could say, hey, how are you? I miss you guys, right? It seems like it's been forever. And so I thought, man, I'll go ahead and jump in for you guys, say hi to the kids and the parents, and just kind of introduce and kind of take you through this week's FX. And so this month, what we've been talking about is like, what's the theme? Indescribable. Like, our God is such an incredible, crazy, creative God. Like, he can do anything. And what we're focusing on this month is creativity. Imagining what you could do because you're made in God's image. Can you think about it? You're made, I'm made, your mom, your dad, your brothers and sisters. If they're smaller than you, you may not think that they're made in God's image, but they are. Regardless of what they do and how annoying they are made in God's image. But we're all made in God's image. And imagine, because of that, imagine what we could do. And the answer is, we could do a lot. We just have to know and remember who's our creator and what he's created us to do. So that's what this whole month is about, and it's about being creative and understanding that truth. Isn't that cool? So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna pause. Stay tuned, check this out.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how he created us and loves us so much that he made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 10.
When the Apostle Paul wrote his letter to the believers in Ephesus, he told them, "We are God's creation. He created us to belong to Christ Jesus. Now we can do good works. Long ago, God prepared these works for us to do." Let's see how that might play out in someone's life today. Nora Gray followed her older cousin, Sadie, around the pottery studio. Clay dust danced in the sunbeams from high up windows.
So I just stay at the desk?
Working at the Earth and Fire studio was Nora's first real job, and she wanted to get it right. Sadie grinned and pushed back her hair with a clay-flecked hand.
Mostly. A bunch of artists have memberships here, so they can use all the equipment and materials. You'll answer questions, take calls, make orders when supplies run out, things like that.
What's in there?
Nora pointed to an open door near the back of the studio.
Oh yes, the closet.
Nora led the way over. Sadie peered inside.
Wow.
The narrow room was lined on both sides with high shelves. Every shelf and every inch of floor space was crammed with a jumble of tools, containers of clay and glazes, cleaning supplies, and pieces of pottery, finished and unfinished.
How do you find anything?
So many people use the closet. Everyone just kind of has their own system.
Nora didn't think the disaster in the closet qualified as a system, but before she could say anything...
Oh, I gotta take this. Hello? Oh, hold on a sec. Where did I put my pen?
Frazzled, Sadie checked her pockets. Nora quickly pulled a pen and notepad out of her neatly organized backpack.
Would this work?
Sadie snatched the pen and paper, mouthing, "Thank you," and headed for the desk. Nora surveyed the room. There were at least a dozen artists at work.
"You a potter too?"
Nora turned to see an older gentleman with a streak of clay in his curly white hair. His long frame bent nearly double over the nearest pottery wheel.
Me? No.
Oh, I think everyone's an artist of some kind.
I can't even draw a stick figure. Sadie's just letting me work here till I go to college in the fall.
Nelson centered a lump of clay on his wheel.
You'll see me here most every morning. I'm Nelson.
Nora.
Real nice to have you here. I'm working on a coffee mug if you'd like to watch.
Nora watched, mesmerized, as the spinning clay morphed from a stodgy lump to a smooth cylinder under Nelson's practiced hands.
I wish I could make beautiful things like that.
You want to take a turn?
Sadie tried to teach me. It was a disaster.
Nelson smiled, hands still working the clay.
I happen to believe that God made each of us to create beautiful things that matter. You'll find your spot.
Nora nodded, but she didn't think she'd ever create a piece of art that could make someone smile.
Nora, I want to show you the kiln.
Sadie reappeared, and Nora spent the rest of the day learning the ropes of her new job. By early evening, the studio had cleared out.
You go home. I can lock up at 6, just like you showed me.
Well,
And I can order more blue glaze, like you said.
if you think you got this, that would be great. I can get home early for dinner with the kids.
I'm good. Go, shoo.
With a wave, Sadie hurried out. Nora opened the supplier's webpage and started an order for glaze.
I bet there's still blue glaze in the closet somewhere.
Nora opened the door and clicked on the light. The mess looked even worse than it had that morning.
Is this glaze? Oh, it's those cans. And there's some over here and up there.
Nora edged her way around, collecting cans.
There's no way to know what's really here unless I can get it all together. I should clear a space. And I should stack those crates to group the colors.
Every time Nora moved one can or tool, she discovered 6 more that needed a place to go.
All the cleaning supplies can go down here, modeling tools and loops over there by the door. That's definitely trash. Oh, and there should be a spot for each artist to put their pieces that still need to be glazed.
One thing led to another, and another, and another. Nora finally realized she was hungry.
Where did I set my phone? Oh, here. 9:30.
Nora had been so focused on organizing the closet, she had completely lost track of time. She glanced with satisfaction at the crate containing 5 cans of blue glaze.
At least I don't need to order more glaze.
The next morning, Nora arrived a few minutes late. She rushed in, apologetic.
I'm so sorry, Sadie.
Nora broke off as she saw Sadie, Nelson, and several other artists grouped around the closet door.
Nora, did you do this?
Yeah. I should have asked.
Nora, this is amazing!
Nora took a step forward to take a good look at what she's done. Glazes and clay, tools and supplies, everything had its own spot in a orderly rhythm. With the morning light streaming in, it did look pretty cool. Nelson grinned.
Oh, it's beautiful, Nora. A real work of art.
A younger woman with hair knotted on top of her head chimed in.
Plus, we can find stuff now. I thought I'd lost this set of mugs.
You've made our work a lot easier.
Really? I guess. I thought anyone could do this.
No way. You have a real gift.
Can I organize the front desk?
Please, I'm raising your pay.
Nora happily tackled her next project, a well-organized desk. She was grateful to discover the truth of Ephesians 2:10 in her own life. We are God's creation. He created us to belong to Christ Jesus. Now, we can do good works. Long ago, God prepared these works for us to do.
Hey there, I'm MC Haggis, and this here is my beatboxing partner, Seamus McFamous. Say hi to him, Seamus. All right. This month is about creativity. Imagining what you could do because you are made in God's image. Now, if you know me and Seamus' work, you're probably thinking about the phrase creative genius. Am I right, Seamus? Yeah, as a matter of fact, if you look up creative genius in the dictionary, it's not there, because it's 2 words. Anywho, me and Seamus have been trying to think of a way to show creativity, and we got nothing. I mean, we tried all kinds of things to spark some creativity. For instance, we took some tinfoil and some electrical tape and some toilet paper rolls, and we put them together, and we made a little rocket. And the result? Yeah. I mean, not a hint of creativity, though. And look at this. Ugh. We didn't just bake some cookies. We baked cookies that included our favorite snacks in them. We made cookies with beef jerky bits, and cheesy puffs, and French fries, but, mouth-watering, but no spark of creativity. We even knitted socks for sheep. I know, it's weird. Even the sheep were like, I'm not wearing those. We even played some intense games of math bingo. That's where someone calls out the math problem and you try to find the answer on your bingo card. Okay, the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, yeah. Still, no creative ideas. Hey. I guess I'll just eat one of these original recipe cookies. The ones with the popcorn are my favorite. They're very creative, Seamus. Hey! Creative? What was I thinking? Up in the kick it! We've all got capacity for brain productivity, imagination proclivity to imagine what we could do because we're made in God's image. Creativity! Word! Oh, wow. Okay. On behalf of me and Seamus, I'd like to apologize for not thinking we were creative. I mean, look at this. Yeah. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to have one of these cookies, too. Oh. Hey! Yeah. What is this flavor? Hey! Oh, dog food! Hey.
Okay, I don't care what anybody says. Those guys are horrible rappers. Now, they're pretty creative, but it doesn't mean that their creativity is good. That's probably bad to say. Anyways, so what I want to do right now is actually get into the memory verse for the month. I hope you guys can remember. It's kind of a long one, but I think you could do it. I think you can memorize it. Here's it is. It's from Psalm 145:3, and it says this: Lord, you are great. You are really worthy of praise. No one can completely understand how great you are. And think about that. He is so big, so, so large, and so, we try to understand it. And once we get to a place where we think that we can understand who God is, we learn, we understand, we get to know that he's so much more. And that is just the pursuit of us following and chasing after God and trying to figure out and learning about who he is. It just keeps going and going and going because he's so much bigger than what we can imagine. And that is so great because we're always learning about who God is and his character. And like I said earlier too, the one thing that we're learning this month is how creative he is. Look around you. When you first walk out your front door, it's in Romans 1 too. You guys can go check that out. But Romans 1, it talks about God's, creation. He is so real. When we walk outside and we see mountains and everything that he's created, we have to understand that there's a God, because none of that can just happen by chance. No way. God created it, just like he created you and me. And so here's what we're going to do. We are going to, the girls like to do the boogie oogie woogie stuff, and I'm not going to do that. They'll do that next week. But this is another part of the FX family experience that I love and that I miss doing with you guys. So go get on your dancing shoes, like the girls say, and let's do a little bit of worship.
Lately I've been reeling, watching the nightly news. Don't seem to find the rhythm, just wanna sing the blues. Feels like a song that never stops. Feels like it's never gonna. Gotta get that fire back in my bones before my heart turns into stone. So when somebody please pass the megaphone, I'll shout it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, hear my prayer tonight. I'm singing to the sky. Give me strength to raise my voice. Let me testify. Oh, hear my prayer tonight. 'Cause this is do or die. The time has come Feels like it's never gonna. Gotta get that fire back in my bones before my heart turns into stone. So won't somebody please pass the megaphone? I'll shout it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, in the pretty night, I'm singing to the sky. Give me strength to raise my voice, let me testify. Oh, in the pretty night, 'cause this is do or die. The time has come to make a choice, and I choose. Let it move, let it move, let it move. Yeah, I choose. Let it move you, let it move, let it move. Though I walk through the valley in the shadow of night, oh, with you by my side, I'm stepping into the light. I choose. Let it move you, let it move, let it move you. Joy, 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 joy down in my heart to stay. I need that joy, 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 joy down in my heart to stay. Let it move it, let it move, let it move it. Let it move you, oh, let it move you. Though I walk through the valley in the shadow of night, oh, with you by my side, I'm stepping into the light. I choose. Let it move you, let it move, let it move you. Joy, joy, joy down in my heart to stay. I need that joy, 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 joy down in my heart to stay.
Just like Janae and Kayla, I am always winded after some good dancing and some good singing. I love that part of our FX family experience that we get to kind of share together, even though I'm here and you guys are there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that too. Now, here it is. We're going to wrap this up, but here's the one thing that I wanted to kind of land on. No matter how God made you creative, you can use the creativity, your creativity that He's given to you to help others. Just like our true story from the Bible, we talked about Ephesians 2. Like we are His workmanship. And because He has and continues to create us, we can use our creativity to go and help others. Now, here's a family question for you guys. And so mom and dad, or Theo and Thea, or aunt, uncle, like whoever's the adult in your house, grab them. Hopefully they've been there, but grab them and talk about this right after we're done here. How can you use your creativity to help others? God is, like I said, He's so creative. And in His creativity, not only did He create you, but He continues to grow you and mold you and shape you so that you can be even more creative. How can you use your creativity that God has placed inside of you to actually help others? That's the family question this week. And so when you guys talk about it, think of some ways that you can be creative or use your creativity to help others this week. There's another challenge. So hopefully you guys get to do that, and you get to do it as a family. That would be so great because God has created us to put others first, just like Jesus put us first when He actually was born, that He lived here on earth, and then He died on a cross for you and I. Isn't that great? And now we get to be a part of that huge story that God has been telling since the beginning of time. So go be creative and help others this week. Love you guys. See you guys next week. Or I might not see you next week, but Janae and Kayla will be back next week to bring you a little bit more of FX Family Experience. Love you guys. Bye.